Hi, welcome to today's video. In this video, I'm going to be talking more about how the law of attraction is, first of all, real, and how when you have got an idea or a dream of some kind that you're considering pursuing, but perhaps you don't have a lot of confidence or you're feeling quite insecure about taking it further, I'm going to explain exactly from my own personal experience what the universe will do to kind of nudge you and push you onto that path, the path that you're basically destined to pursue and to walk. Okay. The last few videos that I've done have been slightly different. I have just recently had a baby, so my videos at the moment are a little bit all over the place. But what I've decided to do more of moving forward is more spontaneous, intuitive videos. So this week, as I mentioned, I'm going to be talking about how the law of attraction works and why it is 100% real, no matter what anyone tells you. But I have been pulling cards as well. But this week, it's not so much a card. What it is a quote that Tiny Buddha have used in their 2022 calendar, which is mine. Now, if you don't know much about Tiny Buddha, they are, Google them now. They are very famous. Laura Descheny, the owner of Tiny Buddha, has one of the most popular personal development forums and platforms in the world. And I have had my article published with them quite a few times. So when she contacted me 6 months ago and said, Holly, can we use a snippet from one of your articles to put in our 2022 calendar, of course, I was over the moon. And the reason I want to share it with you is because it kind of really led me on the path to where I am now with my coaching career and my business. And it is a perfect demonstration of how the law of attraction worked for me in getting me to pursue this kind of work and switch career paths altogether. And this week has been quite it's been quite challenging for me for various reasons, which I'm not going to go into. But as I said, I have just recently had a baby, so my life is a little bit all over the place right now. And when I received Tiny Buddha's 2022 calendar, I thought, right, well, instead of doing a card this week, I'm going to use this particular quote. That is mine. So I'm really proud, and it really uplifted me. So I'm hoping that you'll find some benefit of it too. So the quote is, which is quite lengthy actually, that they put in for September the 12th, which is mine, is there is no final destination or happy ending. There is only evolution, expansion, and growth. We can spend our lives chasing happiness and emotional fulfillment, or we can actually allow and experience them in the here and now. We can think of happiness as something to struggle for and obtain, and then worry about losing if we feel we've gotten close. Or we can think of it as a series of choices we make daily, starting with the most important choice. Do we believe it's safe to let go and feel happy? Or do we keep telling ourselves the same story about potential disappointment? That article I wrote last summer. So what I'll do is I will leave a link below if you want to check out the whole article that was published, that particular snippet has been taken from. Then yeah, just click the link below. I can't even remember the title of it, if I'm honest, which is really bad. I know I should have done that, shouldn't I, before I started making the video. But yeah, it's a really good article, and it was very popular, and it basically talks about this exact thing, that happiness is not a destination, it is a journey. And the interesting thing is that when I started to write just in general, and then I decided to submit my first ever article to Tiny Buddha, which was back in, I think it must have been about 2014, I was in a really low, dark place. I was married at the time, and me and my husband, my ex-husband now, we were really struggling, and it was a really bad period in my life, and I get emotional now talking about it simply because at the moment I'm going through a similar situation with my baby's father. So it's it's just this was a real upliftment for me this week to receive this, because it kind of reminded me, and this is when I talk about the law of attraction and I talk about the universe and how the universe is always supporting you. The universe, your angels, God, whatever you want to call it, it's a very personal thing. Your relationship with a higher power, there is no right or wrong. It's whatever it means to you. When you have a dream and you have hope in your heart and you want your life to be better in whatever way, when you put that intention out there, then always trust that those intentions and that call for guidance is always going to be given to you. It's always going to, you will be given everything you need in terms of answers and signs and synchronicities. So when you are sort of thinking perhaps, oh, was that a coincidence? Like, let's say you are thinking about, I don't know, going on holiday because you need a break, and then all of a sudden you start to see holiday deals everywhere. That's not coincidence. When you get repetitive things coming at you like that might on face value seem like a coincidence, there are no coincidences. The universe will work in whatever way it possibly can to get your attention, to get you to sit up and take notice and to take the next step towards an idea or a dream that you have. And it might even sometimes seem completely unrelated, but if you keep getting an idea about something, or and it could be something as simple as call a specific person, or I don't know, read that book that's sitting on your shelf that's been collecting dust for the last 4 years. Trust that is how the universe works. That is how your inner guide will work, your intuition, to lead you in a certain way. And I know I'm waffling here, I'm sorry. Basically, back in 2014, me and my husband, we were really struggling, and I was sort of not sure whether or not to leave him. And I started to do a lot of writing, and I ended up publishing an article to Tiny Buddha. And I was doing a lot of self-development, and just I was slowly but surely starting to kind of cultivate my own spiritual practice at the time with meditating and using affirmations. I started to use emotional freedom technique around that time too. So I was really throwing myself into the whole personal development, self-growth arena as much as I could, to look for guidance, to really kind of get some strength within myself, and then decide which way I wanted to go in this sort of monumental period in my life, right? Anyway, I submitted this article to Tiny Buddha, and Laurie Descheny, the owner, she published it straight away. She didn't even send it back for editing or anything. She was just like, yeah, really love it. It's going to really resonate with our audience. And that was something that I was so shy about doing. I was so insecure about, oh my God, they're going to hate it, me, talking shit and whatever. But they didn't. They loved it. And fast forward to now, I've written quite a few articles for them. And it was at that moment, really, when they first published my original article, that I decided to become a life coach. And it was kind of my wink from the universe that said to me, this is what you're meant to be doing. Everything that you're going through right now and experiencing that is really hard for you, you're going to use this to help other people. You're going to apply all of the knowledge and wisdom that you're gathering through life experience, even though it feels really bad right now. You're going to turn it around, and you're going to use it to bring hope and just help to so many other people on the planet. And it was that kind of little thing, just that publication, that set me on that pathway. And since then, I have developed my own coaching practice. I have not quite yet thousands of followers, but I have hundreds of followers on Facebook. I have hundreds of subscribers on here. I have hundreds of people coming to my website every week. People reading my articles, commenting on my videos, watching my videos like yourself. And, if you'd have told me a couple of years ago that this is what I would have been doing now, and I would have been having Tiny Buddha come to me and say, can we use your work in our 2022 calendar? I'd have thought that wasn't possible. I've been to New Zealand on business. I've worked with one of the most successful and popular law of attraction gurus in the world, Ed Lester. He's got a huge hypnotherapy and coaching academy in New Zealand. So I've collaborated with him. He's helped me a hell of a lot, and that was all through him. Just I was a student of his at one point, and then he took me under his wing and said, I love your work, come out to New Zealand. So so many doors opened for me when I took that first little step to be brave and to just think, I'm going to put something out there that I felt called to do. And yes, it was scary. Yes, it was terrifying. Going to New Zealand, that was terrifying. All these little things that I did, it was pushing me, out of my comfort zone completely. And it's, when you have those moments in your life, like I'm going through something right now, as I said, and I welled up a minute ago. Whatever your circumstances are right now, like what it says in this particular quote, and this is something that I needed today as well to read, to remind myself about, that we can spend our lives chasing happiness and emotional fulfillment, or we can actually allow and experience them in the here and now. And that is what it's all about ultimately. Is you have got to do what is right for you. You no matter, it doesn't matter how big the challenge is. Think to yourself, remind yourself, you've come this far. You've experienced so much happiness and so much heartache, but you're still here. Regardless of what you've been through, you are still here. And no matter what you might be dealing with right now, no matter what challenges or life might be thrown at you that makes you feel like, I don't know if I can do this, you can and you will. And when it comes to making the law of attraction work, and if you do think to yourself, is the law of attraction real? Is this whole, higher power aligning with the universe and manifesting wonderful stuff like love and abundance and luck and breakthroughs, is this all just a load of crap, or is this actually real? Is the law of attraction real? I can guarantee you 100% it is. But the biggest misunderstanding about the law of attraction is that we don't attract what we want, we attract what we are. So if we are feeling depressed, if we are feeling really down a lot of the time and all the rest of it, yes, we're going to be perceiving life through that lens. But trust and know that when you take a moment to ground yourself and to be your own best friend, basically, like me with my writing, that at one point was just a form of therapy for me. It was something that I used to do to help myself, to journal and to have a diary. And then it turned into me publishing, an article, getting an article published on Tiny Buddha, and then one thing led to another. So when you are in that state of depression and you're finding like life is literally against you, the universe is against you, and then that's when you start asking these questions, right? Like, is everything just out to get me? Is God out to get me? Is the universe out to get me? What is this lesson that I'm supposed to be learning? Because it just feels like one thing after another and I'm not getting anywhere. Those are, trust that when you start to go within and you start to think, right, how can I help myself here? How can I be my own best friend? How can I love and nurture myself more? How can I spend time with that inner child that's within me, that's just calling out for love and comfort and reassurance right now? When you start to ask those kind of questions and you start to trust and say, right, I don't know what the hell is happening right now, but I know that there's a purpose behind it. I know that there is something in it for me in terms of benefit, in terms of self growth. I'm supposed to be, really getting something from this that's going to help me. When you start to think of it like that, and you start to just love yourself more by comforting yourself and being less hard on yourself and critical, that is when you will see those answers emerging. You will start to see the blessings emerging. And sometimes it is just as simple as taking a day out for yourself, taking some time out for you to just be with you and to do whatever makes you feel better, whether that's, I don't know, watch more TV, watch more junk, watch a funny film, have a bath, go for a walk, meditate, read a book that you've been wanting to read and you just haven't found the time. Make the time for yourself to find that happiness and that emotional fulfillment, even if it's only for half an hour. Because when you do that, when you give yourself a break, and when you allow yourself just the time that you need, and the compassion to just be right here, right now, to be present and to spend time with you. Everything else, it doesn't matter. I know you're probably thinking, maybe a part of you, if you're anything like me, a part of you might be thinking, I don't have time for that, Holly. Come on, like, really? I don't have time to just sit and read or watch a film. I've got so many other things to be doing. And trust me, I know what you're saying, because I've got a 2-month-old, and life for me right now, even a hot cup of coffee feels like a privilege. But trust me, when you take the time that you need, even if that is only 10 minutes, to just do something small for you, and you start to make time for yourself on a regular basis to do something nice for yourself, the universe that is when you will start to receive that guidance and those winks. And that is when you will see the law of attraction coming out to play with you in a way that is positive. So if right now you feel like you're up against it, just that tiny little shift in your mentality where you think, do you know what, I'm going to do something for me today. I'm going to do something for me. I am going to be kind to me, and I'm going to let the universe sort out the rest of the shit for me, and I'm just going to take some time out. That is when you really will see the law of attraction come into play. That is going to serve you. That is not going to feel like, oh my God, here we go again, another day, more shit to handle. What's next? Come on then, bring it. What crap are you going to deal me today? It's not going to feel like that. Just a little chip here and there at that kind of mindset, breaking free from those kind of limiting beliefs that the world is out to get you, that the universe is out to get you. You will start to see and feel how quickly everything is actually working out for you, including the shit. And I know that might feel like such a far cry from where you are right now. Trust me, it is true. And this is evidence. This is evidence, because if you haven't heard of Tiny Buddha, definitely go and check Tiny Buddha out. Go and read the article that I wrote that this quote came from, because back then, and like I said, even now, I'm really going through the ringer at the moment for various reasons, and this was a symbol this week that everything comes full circle in one way or another. When we are going through really challenging times, and then it's a bit like, I'm sure you can think of, even now, in fact, do that for me, okay? Do me a favor. Go and write down, after this video, a list of the hardest challenges that you've had in your life, or even just the top 3, the hardest, most difficult challenges that you've had. And then think about how your life has evolved from those points, and how many blessings have come about from each one of those challenging situations, because I guarantee you there will be so many. And the more you think of, the more you will start to think, oh yeah, that actually, that hadn't have happened at that time in that way, then I wouldn't be where I am now. And where you are now, let's face it, it's probably in some ways not so good, but in some ways, and in a lot of ways, is very, very good. And no doubt you've achieved so much that at one point was just a dream. So your message for this week, which has been a little bit all over the place, this video and my topics that I've been talking about have been a little bit all over the place, but the universal law of attraction is real. And when you take a moment for yourself to remind yourself that you've got this, that you are strong, and that you deserve to have some love and some nourishment and some kindness, even if you're the only one giving it to yourself right now. When you do that and you make that time to be grounded, to be centered, and to be there for you when no one else might not be, that's what I'm trying to say, then you will see the law of attraction in play. You will see the universe come out to help you and to literally, even if it's only a whisper, come this way, just come this way. And you will then be kind of creating almost that platform for the universe to speak to you and communicate with you and show you the signs that you really need to find a way out of whatever situation you're in right now that's not ideal, to find those answers, to receive that guidance, to have those clues presented to you that you're perhaps overlooking right now because you're too busy trying to find the answers, or you're too busy just being busy and focusing on things that perhaps aren't ideal because they're grabbing your attention and they're very negative and exhausting you. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to read my quote just one more time, just for you to embrace it, because the last few videos that I have been doing, that's what they're all about, is they're all about you having something to take with you for the week, to really focus on, to really think about, and to spend time with. Snippets of, I suppose, wisdom, if you like, nuggets of knowledge. And yeah, the last two videos have been Louise Hay's and Gabby Bernstein's, but this week it's mine because I needed it, and no doubt if you're watching this video, I believe that we're on the same vibration right now, so you need to hear this too. So I'm going to read it again and then I'm going to wrap up, okay? So yeah, this video has been quite long, apologies. And if this is the first video you've ever watched of me, trust me, this is not my best, by far. There is no final destination or happy ending. There is only evolution, expansion, and growth. We can spend our lives chasing happiness and emotional fulfillment, or we can actually allow and experience them in the here and now. We can think of happiness as something to struggle for and obtain, and then worry about losing if we feel we've gotten close. Or we can think of it as a series of choices we make daily, starting with the most important choice. Do we believe it's safe to let go and feel happy? Or do we keep telling ourselves the same story about potential disappointment? So, in a nutshell, that's what I want you to do this week. I want you to, first of all, do what I said. Write down the 3 biggest challenges you've had in your life and the blessings that have arisen from them. And 2, I want you to take some time this week, or if you possibly can, it might be a bit of a stretch, but if you possibly can, every day this week, take at least 10 minutes for yourself to do something kind and nice for yourself, because then you really will see the law of attraction, the universe, come out to assist you in ways that are more positive. If you start to cultivate that relationship with yourself, I promise you, you will be rewarded and everything will start to make sense for you, including the chaos, including the crap, including whatever shit you're dealing with right now. If you allow yourself the time, trust that the universe will not only give you the time, but you will also receive what you're asking for, and you will start to see the signs and the clues that have been all around you all this time. And then you will see full proof, as I know that you already know deep down, the law of attraction is very real. and it is working on your behalf all of the time, even when it doesn't appear to be. So that's it for this week. Thank you very much for your patience. I know this video has been a little bit all over the place, but I think it's just a representative right now of where I'm at, and no doubt possibly where you're at if you're watching this video and it's something that you've attracted. So yeah, lots of love. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time, take care, and I will speak with you very soon.